morning, everybody. It's Tina again from Tina's Talk Time. Welcome to my channel. If it's your first time here, well, thanks for stopping by. And if you're one of my loyal regular subscribers, thank you for coming back. Well, today I'm going to tell you about how I've been scammed. Well, I've been scammed and I was nearly scammed. It's a bit of a nightmare, really, isn't it? You can't trust anybody nowadays, can you? Well, one was a Facebook scam and the other was a workman that I got here to do some work for me. My drive had got quite a few loose flags on. And for ages I've kept thinking, I must get it done. But you know what it's like? It's a lot of money to lay out, isn't it? I knew it'd be a lot of money. Anyway, my next door neighbour said he knew somebody who was really good. So, and he said to me, you can come a week on Saturday if you want. Well, I did sort of have someone else in mind, but I thought, well, if he's recommended. So anyway, this guy pops up. Oh, it's my next door neighbour had sent him photos of the drive. He's very nice, my next door neighbour, he was trying to be helpful. He sent him photos and he quoted me £600, but I had to buy all the materials myself. So my next door neighbour, he does a bit of building work, so he kindly ordered them for me and I pay. So materials cost over £200, and the guy that did it wanted 600 in cash, of course. So anyway, comes this guy on a Saturday, Chris, I can't think of his last name, I've got it, his name, if anybody wants a name so that they don't use them. So he came on this Saturday morning and probably there was 3 of them and they laid the flags. They looked all right, what they'd done, seemed all right, seemed very nice. Anyway, as I say, there was 3 of them. It got 2 people helping him and they were, perhaps about, I think they left probably about 2:30, 3 o'clock, and they'd been first thing in the morning. So he came to me and he said, they just need like cementing in. But it's the wrong sand I've got here. So he said, I'll come back on Monday morning and finish them off. He said, but could you pay me now? So I said, well, you definitely will come back, won't you? And he said, yeah, I will. He said, I promise. But he said, it's my reputation. I wish I'd have thought about that. He said, it's my reputation. Of course I'll come back. But he said, I need to pay the other 2 guys. So there, I gave him £600 cash. Of course, Monday morning came and he never came. And so it got to the next day, he didn't come then. So I had a word with my neighbour and my neighbour said, it's not like that. So anyway, to cut a long story short, his daughter had been taken ill. So I thought, well, that's fine. I think she'd had an anaphylactic shock or something. So I thought, oh, well, all right, that, it's a good excuse, isn't it? So I bided my time. So I waited. Well, it was about a couple of weeks. So I messaged him. I sent him a message and said, oh, hi, Chris. Have you any idea when you can come round and finish my flags off? Because apart from anything else, I wanted to get them power washed. And I couldn't get them power washed when they weren't finished. And by then, a couple of them had come a little bit loose because obviously they weren't cemented in. So he said, well, he didn't reply. So I sent him about 3 texts and he didn't reply. So I thought, well, this is strange. So I rang him on my house phone because I thought if I ring him on my mobile, if he's blocked my number or something, So I rang him on my house phone, which took him a bit by surprise. And I said to him, when are you coming? He said, well, I'm really busy at the moment. And I said, well, I know, but I've paid you. And he said, well, I was only doing it as a favour for your neighbour. I mean, I said, well, I've paid you. Anyway, he said, oh, well, I'm busy at the moment. I don't know when it'll be. Probably the end of the month. Well, it's now over 2 months later and he's not been. And I've sent him numerous messages. He's not going to come, is he? I sent him numerous messages and he hasn't come. So I really feel, and the sad thing about it is, I'm not going to want to pay anybody again. Well, I definitely won't pay anybody before they finish the job. And it's a shame because I do understand that some workmen do need the money as they're going along, But anyway, it's still not completed, So I feel, anyway, my next one, I mean, he feels awful about it, which I can understand. And like he said, oh, I'll finish it off for you sometime. But, you know, it's such a shame, you know. Anyway, the next scam, so that was that scam. Anyway, the next scam was, you know, I told you I've ordered a new dining table. I've ordered it from the Cotswold company, so if I can remember, I'll put a picture on at the end of it. You know, I can't wait for it to come. I wanted something a bit smaller because I've not got a lot of room. I've had this one a long time, you know, but it is in very good condition. Anyway, I put it for sale on Facebook Marketplace. Now, please be warned about Facebook Marketplace. It's not Facebook, it's the people that contact you. Anyway, it had just been put on. And I got about 3 messages, actually. Anyway, this girl, well, supposedly a girl, I don't know who it was, contacted me, called Olivia, and said, oh, I'm really interested. She said, I would like it. She said, but I'm at work now. But she said, my cousin can come and collect it later on tonight. But I'm at work now. And I thought, well, it's a bit strange that somebody's buying it and not even seeing it. But she said, it's just what I wanted. Well, it isn't one that I've never seen it anywhere else, that dining room suite. Not that it's unique, but it's not a particularly common one. Anyway, she said, so I said, oh, yes, that's fine. She said, can they come later on to collect it? I said, yes. She said, oh, well, I'll pay you by PayPal. And I went, and I suddenly remembered, I think it was Emma Louise had been scammed with somebody wanting to pay. I think it was PayPal. And I went, oh, no. I said, I'm sorry. I want cash. I only got cash. So she said, and I said, but it's all right. I'll hang on to it until you can, you know, so you can get the cash. She said, well, no, she said, I'll have a word with my cousin. Then she came back and said, oh, my cousin hasn't got a bank account. And I said, well, where do you live? And so she gave me this address, which was in Poulton, which is near to me. But she gave me like the full address and the postcode and that, whereas I thought she'd just said I lived in Poulton. So I thought, well, this is a bit weird. And so she said, oh, give me your bank account details and I'll put the money in the bank. So I went, I'm sorry, I don't give my bank account details over the internet. I said, it's cash only. She said, well, my cousin hasn't got a bank account. I said, well, I'm sorry, I'm only accepting cash. So I didn't hear from her again. So I thought, I very nearly fell for that. You know, it just shows you, doesn't it? I very nearly fell for it. Then I got somebody else who, I had 3 of them that were trying to scam me. I got somebody else who said, oh, yes, I want it. I'll pay you now. Send me your bank account details. I definitely want it. So I said, no, I'm sorry, I only want cash. Well, I think actually there was 4 of them, because then another one contacted me and said, oh, right, yes, I definitely want it. I mean, none of these had even been to look at it. I definitely want it. So he said, I'm going to FedEx you the money. I don't even, and I went, oh no, I'm sorry, I only want cash. Oh no, I'll FedEx the money, it'll be all right. You'll get the money by FedEx. I don't even know what FedEx is. I've seen it, but I don't really know what it is. So there again, after numerous backwards and forwards, completely wasting my time, I said, look, I'm sorry, but I'm only accepting cash. And by then, I'd gone on my advert and put cash only. So then somebody else contacts me with this unusual name and said, oh, you know, I'm really interested, I really wanted it. Well, who's going to buy it without seeing it? You know, how do all these people live near me, you know, that want this? So he said, oh no, it was a lady, and she says, oh yes, I definitely want it, I really want it. So I just said, well, before we go any further, can I just say I'm only accepting cash, because I've had like 3 scammers already try to contact me. Well, I never heard from her again. So that's the 4th one, you know. I said it in a nice way. So if you're selling something on Facebook Marketplace, please be warned. Please be very careful. Don't give your bank account details out or your PayPal account details out, you know. I mean, if they want it seriously enough, they'll either come back with the cash or, I don't know, do your bank transfer. Well, I don't even think I'd want them to do a bank transfer, because I don't think I'd want them to know my bank details. So I very nearly fell for it. So just be careful if you're selling anything on. I mean, you can't believe these people, what lengths they go to. they must wait for people just posting things on. Needless to say, nobody else has been in contact with me, so nobody else wants it. So, and then the other thing was, I don't know whether this is actually a scam or what. I bought some shoes from Vinted. I don't think it is a scam. I think probably it's a genuine mistake. I think the person that sold these shoes, they weren't their shoes and they didn't know. But I made a mistake with them. There was some, I saw these shoes, Stuart Wiseman. Now that's, they're very good shoes, these, aren't they? I think it said they were Russell and Bromley, but I'm not sure whether they were. And it says £245 on here, and it said they were a 6.5. And I thought, oh, they'll be good for me doing try-ons. And it said only worn once. So anyway, when I took them out of the box, well, I could see immediately that these are not a 6.5. I mean, they're lovely shoes, aren't they? I just thought they'd be nice for doing try-ons, you know, when I'm doing a clothing haul. Also, the heel was marked as well, which they didn't say it was. Which, you know, it might have bothered you. Anyway, they're obviously an American 6.5, and I would say, well, my daughter's a 5, my daughter's a 4.5, and she tried them on, and she said she thinks they're a 4.5 or a 5. Well, I think they'll be whatever, because she said to me, Stuart Wiseman is an American company. I didn't know that. I just thought the heel height was quite nice. And they're a lovely shoe, aren't they? But anyway, I don't use Vinted much, so I didn't realise that you've got to let what I did was I sent an email to the person that sent them me and said, I think you've got the size wrong. You know, they're not an English 6.5, they're an American 6.5, so they're probably more like a 4.5 or a 5. Well, I didn't hear anything back, and I didn't realise you've only got 24 hours to say to Vinted that they're not right. So I missed it. So they'll probably be going back on Vinted or something. So it's such a shame to see how beautiful shoes, you know. So, you know, they are lovely, and I don't think they have been worn much. It's just that somebody's caught the heel there. Can you see? So I've not had a very successful week this week with purchasers and selling and that. So just be warned, just be careful. Anyway, I just thought I'd tell you this little story. It was funny, really. I nearly fell for the first one, for Olivia, whoever Olivia is. And I nearly fell for her because who lives at Victoria Road in Poulton. I nearly fell for hers because, you know, she said, I'm at work and I can't get out, you know. So I believed her, you know. So anyway, but I did say to her, I'll hold on to it until you can come, but no. And it's funny, I have a feeling it was Emma Louise who somebody was, I know it was another video I saw on YouTube where somebody got scammed. Maybe it wasn't Emma Louise. I'm sorry, Emma Louise, if it wasn't you. But it was somebody, and it just stuck in my mind that, oh, I must be careful, you know. So don't give your bank details out. So anyway, that's my little story for today. So it's a bit of a different video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. And if you've not subscribed and you'd like to listen to me prattling on, please subscribe and perhaps give me a thumbs up. And if you've been scammed, let me know about it. It's terrible, isn't it? Bye bye. See you in my next video.